Good. Good.
Welcome back, guys. We're here to talk. We've missed you guys. It's been a few days, but hope you had a good Easter and all that. But welcome back.
Those that celebrate Easter. I don't normally, but I was made to celebrate it this year, so that was different. That was nice. Yeah, forced to be away from the computer, Stuart. That's a thing. Yeah, crazy.
Well, we're here today to talk about, hopefully, a few things.
I'm going to start with the poll straight away.
Yeah. Some Agent Wells's and Commander Ducane's and, things like that. Have a discussion before the episode where we kind of get a reveal of who he is. So, Christian Montgomery, member for 17 months at the rank of captain. So thank you so much, sir. Hello, my name is Agent Wells with the FBI X-Files. When I was little, I was mind probed by pointy-eared aliens. Now I hunt them. Okay, back to work for me. I got a lot to say about that, but we'll get into that. This whole show is going to be about. Hit that like button, guys.
All right, vote in the poll.
Poll is: do you want Agent Wells to be Commander Ducane from the 29th century? Yes, I want it to be Ducane.
Although Jim Freeze says, really, this guy? He was a one-time guest star on a forgettable episode of Voyager, and everyone's like, if it isn't Ducane, I'll be disappointed. How is it forgettable? You see Voyager in dry dock for the first time. You see 709 in uniform for the first time. You see Time Cops for the second time. You see Braxton again for the second time. You see Janeway is 3 versions of herself for the second time. You see, like, the early stages of Voyager is one of the most memorable episodes of Voyager, I would say, for the amount of like unique goodness. And he stands out massively as being such a good officer in it. And you get a new Federation time ship. Forgettable? I mean, guys, is it forgettable? It's like always. I mean, I'm obviously a big fan of the episode anyway, but it's one of the most standoutable episodes in Voyager. Wow.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you on that one.
So much so the VFX team literally did those initial shots of Planitia out of budget because they just wanted to. Because they said, no, we want to make these shots, and they're the shots that you were showing like a Voyager, trailer, because they're like high budget for the time. Because they went ahead and they did this big sequence that was purely because they knew we've got to do it. We as fans, so they liked the episode that much to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot to talk about with this one, so
yes.
But
and I'll start sharing.
Please do. We have 48 people here, 20 likes. Hit that like button, guys. Let's get the likes up to 50, and let's start off with a bang with that in that regard. If you have anything you need to say or want to say or just want to support the show, super chats are a great way to do so. We'd really appreciate it, and we do read them all on the air. So if you want to do that, that'd be amazing. Otherwise, there is a join button down there. If you want to help us on a monthly basis, you can click that join button, see what the options are for joining the channel, and perhaps help us that way as well. Lots of different ways to support us, including Patreon/Trekyards. Clicking the links down below, there's links to our Teespring store, to Public Store, where you can get some Trekyards merchandise. There's an Eagle Moss affiliate link. You can click that, fill up your cart, and with some Eagle Moss ships, and use the discount code Trekyards10. So lots of great ways to help us out and support us. But just hitting that like button is a nice, easy, free way. Let's try to get up to 50 likes immediately. That would be awesome. And yeah, let's have a good conversation here. I know a lot of people are like, it's obviously this, or but it's not obvious. I'm just saying, from the trailer, it's not directly implied that it's him. He could be recanting a tale of something he investigated, or had heard about from somebody else. Anyway, there's things we need to talk about. So yeah, we're going to get into that and say the things that I think would make a lot of people happy. That comment about it being an unimportant character is ridiculous to the point of being laughable. And I'm sorry, but they could really win some major brownie points with Trek fans if they wove an intricate tale here and try to combine a few things. Apparently, Carbon Creek's going to be a thing, and if they could, include a few things, that'd be awesome. So, okay, Dave last tweeted that he's rewatching episode 2 of Enterprise. Yeah, and that would be probably Carbon Creek. Because, yeah, obviously.
Part of the discussion.
Welcome back, Samuel.
Hello. And yes, vote in the poll. Now, this first poll is a do you want it to be, not do you think it's going to be. Yeah. That's the clarification there. So vote in that right now.
Is there... As I was saying, like... Well, I kind of want to get into the first thing. I mean, the trailer shows that it's more than likely him. But I mean, trailers are known for being deceptive or for hiding things. We even didn't get Lower Decks previews like next time on because they couldn't do it without giving stuff away. I think they might have done a little bit of a red herring here, and it's something he investigated or heard of that got him interested, and not necessarily him himself as that kid. And we got to keep in mind too that he's working with somebody else. He said his lady friend, whenever somebody shimmers and appears out of nowhere in town, sends him the videos, and he goes and investigates. So it's very much like an X-Files type going on there. So I'm looking forward to getting the explanations here. So
yeah, this is the scene we've been waiting for since the first trailer, where you blink and you miss him. It's a bit sad he's 8 in. Yeah, well, which means he's going to have limited impact, although, given that he should be the time guy, that's quite a powerful ally to have right at the end. Especially if you're fighting a Borg Queen. Borg Queen who can instantly, assimilate and adapt. You need time tech to help solve the problem, and that's certainly upping the ante a bit. But when this is an alternate reality anyway, it's not the prime timeline in any which way because the timeline got moved on both sides, so there isn't any butterflies. They can destroy this reality, but they can't ever destroy the prime timeline. So this is all, the stakes are so low. It's more just can our people not mess up this reality, and the Q conundrum. And we do see in the actual trailer for the next episode that Q is in it, looking dishevelled. So we will actually get some continuation of the not Daj, not Soji, not Data, not Law storyline, which I'm vaguely interested in, but we'll see. But obviously, when you get to 8 out of 10, you need to start wrapping up storylines and coming to a crescendo. So they may be better by the very nature. They have to then suddenly get to the point, or the Cloak and Dagger stuff. That's for 3 episodes ago. You need to actually be, going into your final lap of quality content. Especially if it's going to be a short one. Who knows? It might be 45 minutes, which is a short one by these standards. So, how much is going to be which? You've now got the Borg Queen to deal with. You've got the repercussions of that. You've got the Q stuff with Sung, and you've got the Guinan and Picard, captured stuff. That's 3 pretty the 3 stories of the entire season, right? Those are the 3 stories.
Yeah.
Boy, they have to be a thing.
Yeah, and the thing is too. I mean, there's no lack of actors. So to specifically get this guy back for an Agent Wells and not have him be the character played before is just silly in my opinion.
Well, no, that in the pandemic they had 21 actors available in all of Los Angeles.
Oh, yes, that's true.
He was just happenstance. Yeah. He happened in a COVID bubble with Jerry Ryan for a different show, and just happenstance. They're like, oh my god. No, that's not true.
Chuck A, member for 26 months at the rank of Commander. So thank you so much for
you.
Great live, guys. Thank you. I hope he is Ducane. Yes. And Casual Trekker, $20 super chat. Thank you so much.
Boom.
Amazing. Could he be just vetting Picard with how he is talking to him and not reveal his own identity to them in case they are on the wrong side? Due to the future being changed, the time cop would have to be careful with what he says. Exactly. And with the future being changed, according to the Picard timeline rules, it could be that something happened with their temporal shielding that he's still aware of what is going on, but he's stranded, perhaps, and has been on Earth for a while.
Or it's more likely he's a Confederation timeline temporal agent, because given the time travel logic.
Yeah.
Or the descendant of one, because he can't be our timeline guy, because they don't exist in this version of the universe. They've already established that. So it has to be a Confederation version. But I said this to someone else, that to think that this man's face could still evolve in the same position, given the entire universe being different, is illogical. It's always a conceit, but I'd rather they stop doing it, because there's a lot of hundreds of years to get to this man. Mm-hmm. Enterprise didn't happen, TNG didn't happen, Voyager didn't happen. Like, everything is different, so you're not going to get this man this job to be a time cop in the Confederation of Relativity. That said, it's still fun to see, even if it's stupid. Maybe being in the present has nullified his evilness from being the Confederation timeline. Don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, the tie-in from Ducane to Wells and just Wells class. I mean, just there's so many little odd things. Somebody mentioned too, is that Christian Montgomery, is that lady friend Rain? I mean, it could very well be Rain from Voyager as well.
Oh, yes. Boom. Yeah.
That would be interesting, yeah.
Sarah Silverman.
That's pulling in a lot of stuff at the end, if that's the case, but
also, she can't have met Paris, so therefore she didn't have any extra knowledge. She can't even reference Paris. But the Watcher didn't reference meeting Kirk, so they have kept that consistent. But it's not as fun, because then she didn't have the experience with Tom Paris. So even if we see her, we're not really seeing her, we're seeing the alternate her that we don't care about. That's the problem with this way of doing time travel. None of these things matter in the grand scheme, because none of this will carry over into our timeline.
Yeah. So
it's fun, but it's an Easter egg within an Easter egg.
Yeah. No, it's just interesting that there's that audio clip in there about his friend sends her.
I couldn't even remember that, Stu. That's a great recatch. But if you're understanding this is a fresh timeline, but most of the pieces are still in place, then you can call upon them. I mean, if you can get Whoopi Goldberg back, and she hasn't reacted in a long time, she's just a chat show host, really. That's all she does. Sarah Silverman's a comedy person. So if you can get Whoopi Goldberg, who I'm sure charges far more than Sarah Silverman, get Sarah Silverman for one episode, or on the call, bring him in a phone call would be great. It'd be perfect. It'd be very clever.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think there's a lot that can be explained here. I like the X-Files tie-in, because the FBI in real life does have an X-Files type division. And it would have been just better if there's not Ducane, just make it goddamn Mulder or Scully or somebody. Like, bring David Duchovny back in for this role, if that's the case. Have an X-Files crossover. Because to bring in this specific actor, named Wells, after the Wells class ship that he served on, there's a little hint. Or maybe it's just an homage. We're not giving them Ducane, so let's name him Wells. That would be really disappointing. It's such an odd decision. And I think the trailer was specifically designed to have us think, okay, he's the kid that gets mind melded, so it's not Ducane. Because there's nothing specific in that says that it was him. It's the way it's presented. It's a flashback, but it could be one of the first cases he heard about or something.
So and see if you agree with this, the amount of disappointment if they're hiring the actor, that itself is the reference, but not following through. Would that not be similar to Prodigy when they had Spock appear in their holodeck episode, if instead they had Ethan Peck voice the clearly Len Nimoy Spock? And it's like, well, you set up the expectation of Len Nimoy and you put Ethan Peck. At that point, just have Ethan Peck's face. I would be more disappointed to have Ethan be voicing Spock as Nimoy. So just having him even in the role at all is disappointing if he's not Ducane. Don't have him if you're going to make that direct connection. For me, it's more disappointing the lack of. What do you think?
No, I absolutely agree. Like I said, there's a lot of actors. For them to choose this one specifically.
Any gender, any race, any age.
In a time travel episode about, altered realities, and you're coming up, you need to get back home to your own time. You introduce this guy. It could have been any actor. There's no reason to use this guy.
And not just that. Not just that, but this is a hard break on the season. We don't need randomly FBI cop to show up and catch him. It's absolutely, without him being a time cop who's been tracking Picard and finally gets him and bringing him in so you can talk to him directly. Without that, you're just adding in he'll get captured for no reason. Why are you wasting that time in the plot? What is this going to add to it? Is it going to detract from the pace? The only thing I could think is that it forces him into the police station where the Borg are assimilating, so he walks out and they're all being assimilated. But get him there another way. And don't hire this actor.
There could have just been cops pulling up, like the ones that were chasing Seven and Raffi. No names, just they doing their job. They pull up on the place, storming it.
Fire agents.
Yeah, SWAT team.
So, you know what I mean? Okay, would you agree about, though, Ethan Peck in Spock's likeness as Nimoy?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Does that Ethan Peck, then?
Yeah. Totally Random Reviews throws in $5.
Boom.
Thank you, Andrew. If it is Ducane, then poop to him being a Confederation version. I want the proper Ducane. Temporal shields for the win, I hope. Yeah.
Well, just to reiterate, temporal shields aren't a thing in this universe because Q shifted them to an alternate universe. Alternate timeline. If they were a thing, then all these things happened, and therefore they still happen. But they can't happen based on the logic. So, no. Temporal shields don't work. What's the problem?
There can be caveats to that, though, I'm sure. It is sci-fi.
I mean,
Anyway.
if Q deliberately brings them in to help, that's cool. But, boy, what a thing, you know?
No, to just prove that Picard was never in the prime timeline. This is his own timeline that they're messing with, and Q brought him over to the... I don't know. Anyway, who cares? Moving on. Joshua 11345 puts in $10.
Thank you so much.
Wouldn't it be interesting if Picard and Q are brothers because Picard's mom used to be a Q? No. No. That's more of that's pulling in Cisco being a prophet and his mom being one of the wormhole aliens. I don't know. I don't like it.
Which I never knew, even, until you told me on this show like a year ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all from the show. See, I wouldn't be against that if it's nothing to do with his mum. If it's like, Jean-Luc, 45 generations ago, one of us chose to take human form on Earth, and you are the 45th generation, you know, in ancient Egypt, and you happen to be a descendant. That's why, like that, I wouldn't be against, because there are going to be Q throughout history that choose to do very odd things with their existence. So having one end up on Earth, and just the DNA is so strong, residual DNA, that it stays embedded in a descendant that far, I'm okay with that. It also means that while Picard is special in the grand scheme, there'd be tens of thousands of descendants that also have a similar, like, slight affinity with a Q, so it makes Picard not too special. Yeah, not Picard's mum, but I could see that being vaguely interesting. It makes Picard even more special, but, you know, part of his fun is being sort of just a talented everyman. That's kind of how the captains are meant to be. They just get there by talent.
Yeah.
You know, achievement. But I'm not against that if they're clever enough.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Casual Trekker, $5. Thank you so much. If the timeline was fixed by Picard being struck by the car instead of Renee, it would allow for the TNG future to be back and Silverman stuff occur.
I have an easy no for that.
Go for it.
Because Brent Spine is only there because Patrick Stewart's there. So there wouldn't have been a guy in a car to run over Lady if Patrick Stewart wasn't there. So by going into the past, he already changed it further. So no,
That's what he's saying, though. There was nobody there to originally run Renee over because she went on her mission.
Well, yes, but there was already a change. So that was not the thing that changed it. Q's influence changed it, we think, to make her mentally change. You could see it's kind of like that meme with a horse that gets less drawn over time. It's like when Terry left, the writing quality went down, and I wouldn't say plot holes, just things just don't line up well. You know.
All right, Kit 10K throws in $50. Oh, Kit, thank you so much. Hey guys, just read today that Resurgence isn't the only Star Trek game coming out this year. I read they have one called Star Trek Prodigy Supernova coming out for the Switch, Xbox, PC, and PS sometime this year. Don't know any more beyond that. Yeah, we've known that for a while, Kit.
Chicago.
Don't know much about it.
You might have even seen the poster before it was announced.
Yep. Didn't see the big poster for.
I mean, it's a bit disappointing. It was just a picture of normal show promotional. It was no custom picture. Bit of a shame because it didn't tell us anything. And it's definitely going to be a kids game. Definitely, because they can get away with that more because a subset of watchers versus players is a lot less. And if it's on Switch, it'll be mostly children. So that will be a genuine kids game. So. But if it's canon in the Prodigy sense, I mean, it can't be literally canon because it's not on screen, but they can say we consider it canon, in which case we might play it just for the sake of it's part of Prodigy logic. And who knows, I might end up accidentally grabbing the 3D models of the characters somehow. To use on Trekyards.
Yeah. Apparently, I missed a super chat. No, I didn't. Mention Vincent Visions. I didn't miss a super chat.
Not even his one?
I haven't read it yet.
How can you miss it if you haven't got there yet, is what you're saying?
Exactly. I was scrolling back up looking for any I missed, reading them all, and I didn't miss any. I haven't got to yours yet, my dude. We just read Kits, and we're talking about the video game.
But Norman says, because just before Vincent, so if he is Ducane, who are the other FBI raiders? Undercover with them, or just private relativity? They're just cops. Like, clearly he's been here for at least sort of 10 years, whatever, trapped, and thought, Rather than Braxton, who went a bit mad, this guy just became a cop.
Yeah.
Because that's the fun parity of, he would know exactly what happened to Braxton, because he had to pull him out and help him. So he would know, if and when I get stuck in the past, I can be saved and reintegrate, so I will be fine, but just stay under the radar, do my job, I want to help people. I'm assuming once enough years passed, he was like, well, I just want to do something to help this future, or the past or present or whatever. But especially if you can imagine, if he also knew it was an alternate timeline from his readings, then there is no butterflies, so he can do whatever he wants this timeline and kind of like just, well, an injustice is an injustice. He's seeing somebody get hurt, he wants to help. That's why he joined Starfleet, I'm sure.
Now it's Vincent's time to shine. Vincent Visions, $5. Picard, I want to believe. Yes. Yeah, the X-Files is strong with this one. Not a banned account, $2. Picard needs a darker tone and more subplots. No, it doesn't. Neither of those things.
Well, that's fun. We have a YouTube fun guy. Major Grin's here.
Oh, hey, Major Grin.
Which I've never seen in a live. He says it won't be the agent. It's just some guy who saw Vulcans on Earth as a kid. That's it. Oh, yeah, we assume so. But, we're debating the interesting version of this. But, yeah, good job on the videos. As a fellow editor, I appreciate the work put in and the, keep making them. Because, you find more annoyances than I look for, which is nice. Because that's obviously your job. Not literally a job, but you've made it your job. And that's good. Because the best way of showing stupidity, especially the Discovery, is just show them side by side. You don't have to put any commentary. You just show Discovery saying something, and then Prime Canon saying something different, and it's like, well, they're wrong. No commentary, just the facts. So it's a very, very good system. Harder with newer stuff, but for Discovery Season 1, it was very, very easy. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're well aware that it could very well likely not be him. However, there's a lot pointing to it being him, and very little pointing away from it.
Well, let's be honest. We both reviewed the episode. We both ended. So this was last week. Both reviewed the episode. You just watched it. I just watched it, and we both said by the end, no, it's cool to see him be present, the agent, time agent. And then we both watched the Ready Room clip together. You saw me grin. I saw you react, and then we said, "Oh yeah, it might be then." Like I lost all hope, and then the clip is clearly, at the very least, Guinan sees something in him that's not contemporary. Her reaction to him is so straight to "you're not meant to be here," because she could smell a time agent a mile away, you'd think. So very much so that trailer re-presented. Well, it very easily could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. And then after the clip, then they released the teaser for the next trailer where they have the kid with the mind meld, and everybody's like, it's definitely not him then. So it's like a bait and switch. It's throwing you all around. So it's like you don't know what to expect at this point, because you think it is him, and then it's not him, and then you think it might be him because of the name Wells and Guinan's reaction, and then wait a minute, no, it's not, because it's that kid that was mind melded. Like they're really playing a game, I think.
Well, I mean, trailers are by their very nature deceptive. If we all remember the Spider-Man Far From Home, or whatever the last one's called, they did something that...
No Way Home.
Thank you. But also, the scene, it's clearly implied to be Ducane. The trailer, it's not clearly implied, but the trailer is only worth 1 day or 1 week's worth of airtime. But as of next week, we're never going to talk about the trailer again. His character name stays with him for the next 30 years of Star Trek canon. So you're allowed to mislead in trailers by just, hey, I just showed the clips. You assumed it was the kid. We put him side by side. You assumed. That's on you guys. And we're like, easily could be someone else. Easy, like you said, he could be recounting a memory. Maybe he had access to someone's memory via transcendental tech and said, I'm here to deal with this initial incursion from the Vulcans and get stuck because, time travel, whatever. And so we're just seeing that recollection. There's no, editing.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, could be a number of things. So we're just hopeful that it's we'll start now. Hashtag justice for Ducane.
He was really good in that episode. That's the thing. Yeah. It'd be, and it would allow them to actually answer the question to all of us of why aren't the time cops here? Because then he could literally in dialogue say, for some reason I was in temporal transport and I got shifted to this reality as well. I was the one agent that survived in this transport. I've been here. I have my tricorder and phaser. That's it. And obviously I hide them. I've been waiting for other people to come in. You have a ship. I need a ship. They can build us very quickly and clearly, tell us, explain more of the storyline. And they did kill the Queen, and for them to be able to go back into the present, although really curious to shift them, they need a Borg Queen's ability to see time and to think. But Jurati can't just be assimilated somewhat and have all of this ability. So you've either got to let her be fully assimilated into a full Queen, or another thing helps them go forward in time. And so I'm sure Ducane Tricorder could do it easily, happily, no problem at all. Just saying. And we know from last episode that they aren't afraid in this version of Picard to literally use elements of the past, unlike other Treks like Picard Season 1.
Yeah.
Because we saw the Nomad probe. Just, very slightly altered, but beyond acceptable, just visual difference.
Yeah, and the ship from the beginning of every episode of Enterprise almost.
Yep. Well, not just that, but the Talon little doobly-doo device thing that was clearly inspired from TOS. Yeah. So if they want to put the relative tricorder in, they can, and we think nothing of it. They've now been able to show literal use of stuff. So, yes.
What's Jericho says, if it makes you feel better, Ducane has a role in Star Trek Coda. Well, there you go.
Oh,
didn't know that.
Good. Oh, and Edgar says, go back to the original trailer for season 2. That's true. How does... Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to... That's a really good... I'm going to watch that now, because now we're near the end. If that misleads us,
That seems fair.
But set some super chat goals, Stuart. Or some goals now. Oh, okay.
123 people here, 60 likes. Guys, should be at 80 by now with that many people. But, since you've not been doing your jobs, hit that like button. And we'll get you to, I want to get to 100 now. That's the goal. That's easily doable with what we have here. So hit that like button if you haven't. Let's see, another 150 in super chats would be awesome to hit our minimum. But if you're able to super chat that looks really disgusting for a second. Whatever you're able to put in, please do so to help out. We really want to hear your thoughts, theories. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're right. Tell us what could be. This is the way. Yes, Bell riots are in September of this very same year, 2024. They are in April. So, and that's for Al Iguana. We'll get to the super chats in a second. Since Sam was done watching that trailer, we'll probably have some more things to discuss and talk about. There's 3 more episodes left in this kit, in this season kit. Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Wells isn't Ducane and Cumberbatch wasn't Khan. Yes, that's exactly right. They do tend to deceive, yes. Get 10K, $5. I've lost track how many episodes are left in this season. Yeah, there's 3 more left. So. And yes, Christopher Mulroney, we've kind of just talked about that already a little bit.
Hello.
Hello.
That was exciting. So it's funny because that trailer certainly implies we'll spend more than 2 episodes in the future, given that most of it's set in the future. It definitely implies we'll spend more than 1 episode in the Confederation timeline, because that's a lot of the trailer. There's one sequence with the Borg estimated as police officers. There's one scene of Rios beating someone up in the Picard glass dome, which has been shattered in the chateau in daylight. So we've still got them beating someone in the France chateau and Picard watching, and that's still a scene we've yet to come. There's dialogue that we just saw from Picard this last episode at the start, which summarises stuff that isn't true. The Guinan stuff implies it's only Whoopi and she'll be in the past, which she isn't, using clips of dialogue from both versions of the bar, despite only being one segment. So it definitely sets up a lot of expectations that are not being met. Because that thing is barely in the past. It kind of implies a lot of cool stuff, and all of it was in the first 2 episodes. First two. Yeah.
Yep. This is the way.
Yes.
I love Sean O'Sullivan's super chat, €2. He says, "Wells isn't Ducane, and Cumberbatch wasn't Khan."
Well, that is true.
Yeah, he was
Harrison.
Yeah.
Not Harriman.
This Ducane guy is obviously Mr. or Agent Wells. So I mean, obviously it can't be Ducane.
Yeah, and it's that the thing is though, I would rather not have spoilers than have spoilers, because seeing it is fun, enjoying it, experiencing it is better. But it's fun to dissect, and then when we get to the episode, we'll have discussed thought, and it's like with the last Spider-Man film, we were all debating it, but we didn't know until we knew the debates were all fun, and then suddenly it changed the ballgame when you know, etc.
Absolutely. And yeah, Kit, it's like I said, there's 3 more episodes this season because it is a 10 episode season. So.
Although Bryce says, wouldn't a time-travelling staff officer from the future know who Picard is? Well, if he was a temporal future man from the Confederation timeline, yes, because Picard was very famous. If he's the prime timeline version, then yes, he would. But his whole job is to be undercover, so he wouldn't just say, hey, by the way. Because the fact that Picard is undercover, it would be smarter of Ducane to work out what Picard's mission is first, before he reveals himself. Because Temporal Prime Directive is such, especially if he hasn't got his kit. Because in the Relativity mission, he was expecting to remove Seven's memories, but didn't have to at the end of the day. So in this version, any temporal talkings could affect, especially if he knows what Picard's about to do. Obviously for him, Picard's been dead for 700 years, so he does know all that stuff already. Yes.
Yeah. Guys, keep hitting that like button. We're not that 100 yet. We're almost there. 22 likes away, guys, and we need at least another 150 in super chats, I would say.
Would make up, yeah.
If you're able to, if you have any theories, comments, questions, concerns, tell us we're wrong, tell us we're right. Super chat those. We will read all those on the air. So.
But it's interesting that Dave said yes, rewatch an Enterprise episode. That is very interesting.
Well, that'd be the Carbon Creek one, probably. That's what the Vulcans are.
Well, it certainly looks like the same Vulcans.
Yeah.
I mean, we know they've been to Earth, and I have no problem saying they've been to Earth many times.
Did they go to Earth? 19.
Let me look.
Look that up.
Because obviously it always feels like super far away from Enterprise, but now it's not from this point. 1958. So only 60... So, well, no. More than that. 70, 80 years later. But did... Now that's
66 years. So let's say that kid's 10 years old. You're telling me Ducane's 76, still working as an FBI agent?
No, but you wouldn't say he was... He's definitely in his 60s.
Yes.
So it's not far off.
No. But the kid's not a baby.
Mm.
He's definitely a toddler.
No.
Well, above toddler, more like a preteen.
Yeah, he's like 8 or
so
10.
Let's just say round it up to 10. That would make Ducane, or Agent Wells here, 76 years old at this point. He does not look 76, nor do I think there are any Federation agents that are out in the field at the age of 76. I mean, I could be wrong about that.
Federation agents? Do you mean FBI agents?
Sorry. I meant FBI agents.
There's a lot of Federation agents at 78. That's like
the
40s.
The F threw me.
Yes. Well, I don't think it... My expectation is it's not literally the Vulcans from Carbon Creek, because we have that story. It's that the Vulcan in Carbon Creek was then found and rescued 10 years, 20 years later.
Yep.
And they might bring back the original actor. I don't think they will, because they just won't bother. But, you know, he was rescued 30... I mean, he kind of undoes the end of Carbon Creek, which is the point that he stayed and lived a life. To save him kind of removes that. But I mean, even if he lives 30 years, and then so the 1980s, and I said maybe, you know, an FBI agent, I can imagine, age quicker than normal people because, you know, stress, crime.
Yeah.
So if he's in his late 40s, I was like, well, okay. How old is the actor actually? That's a good indication.
Well, that opens up interesting possibilities, though, because we're saying that Carbon Creek still happened in the timeline.
Yes,
Which means...
but that wasn't affected by temporal Cold War events. That was just Vulcans being Vulcans. So that should happen either way. That should be fine.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the Federation or anything.
That was way before.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it was before any of the Star Trek interacting with the timeline stuff that we know of. I'm sure there was other stuff, but that we know of. So that all should be totally fine. So he was born in 63, and Carbon Creep happened in 58. So... yeah, so he'd have to be 15 years older than he actually is in real life to be a 10 at the time.
Well, we're not sure that the mind meld thing happened the year that the same year. It could be literally 10 years later too.
Yeah,
so.
I especially if that you know, if that guy is, you know, he buries his tech, and maybe the Vulcans finally work out what happened to him. They said, well, we have to recover our tech. But you know, and I think I'll go ahead and I'll just find the still of it because it's quite interesting still.
Yeah.
Of the Vulcans.
Cayman Reed puts in £5. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Didn't Terry work on the final few seasons of Voyager? He definitely knew Jay played Ducane, so hopefully this is more than just a cute cameo, a reference or cameo.
Sort of. He was there, but not in a. You know, lots of people worked in it. I mean.
Yeah.
But he was around. But I mean, even if you're, I mean, they're also fans of Star Trek, and if you're a fan of time travel, clearly you are. This is one of the things you would know. This episode, I feel like any big. Yeah, he was an assistant on 5 episodes of Voyager and then all of Enterprise. So, right at the end of Voyager.
Hmm.
And he wrote 3 episodes. He wrote the first episode and the second episode of season 1, which are the best. And then he's also credited for writing the last episode of the season and the first episode of next season. So I'm assuming that the quality of the show is going to jump right at the end, because then it'll link into his season 3 arc. But isn't that sad that the most absolutely best ones, not even close, are the ones he directly wrote?
Yeah. Well, Kit 10K saves the day with $100 super chat, so thank you so much.
Wow.
Had a thought that I highly doubt will be true.
Ooh.
What if Picard and his current crew are not entirely successful in fixing the problem, but the Q feels he's earned another chance, and they give him his crew from TNG back to fully fix it, hence why they will come back in season 3. That's interesting.
I don't want to spend 18 episodes in 2024 though on the shitty Les Arena set.
Yeah.
I mean that's going to be true in some sense, but And just for even more interest's sake, Terry has credits. Now, obviously, these things they have to be on IMDb. You have to give fair credit, but he's credited as story by 2 episodes from Enterprise, and 2 ones that are actually very memorable. The zombie episode on the Vulcan ship, which you've got to understand Vulcan culture to get that, because it's actually quite specific in how it's done. It's a good episode.
It's a great episode.
Yeah. And Stratagem, which is one of my favourite ones, which is Degra in the shuttle, which is expertly written. So that's 2 of the better Enterprise episodes he's storied by.
Nice.
That's good.
Good to know.
So at least, guys, the last episode will be good. So expect crap the next 2. Not really, but expect low end, and then just sudden jump. Although, as with Rise of Skywalker, if you're coming from a less strong base of Last Jedi, there's only so far you can go. If you're sunk into the mud, it's like, well, But that's exciting. I'm just trying to find this still. This Vulcan still.
Paul Pope, $5.
Thank you, Paul.
What if the Vulcans or Romulans were investigating the Challenger explosion in '86 in the flashback? I doubt that's the case. They wouldn't care about that, I don't think.
See, I really do think, though, that this is like you said, red herring. I think that's the smartest thing, because they don't want audiences to be too far ahead, otherwise 1 step, but any far ahead. Because if we know this twist, that's not necessarily the most interesting thing. I want to start with briefly, though, the kid himself, because this man is clearly in his 50s, right? Does this kid's clothing look like it's 80s? Because he'd have to be very specific to fit in.
Let me see.
There isn't any negotiation on time there if this is the same man. I'm just saying, like, if this doesn't look 80s or 70s, well, I guess it'd be 70s, wouldn't it? Yeah, in the 70s. Because to me, personally, this looks modern day. This looks 2021. I would not have thought this was 80s or 70s. Personally.
No, it could be 70s or 80s. The color of the shirt is very reminiscent of 70s stuff, but it's definitely not the 50s. Definitely not the 60s, I don't think. 70s is credible. I mean, his head from 70s on. So.
Well, it doesn't look. I mean, see, it just looks to me modern day, close enough, just like a thing you get out of a Walmart. The hair's a little bit.
That's because retro's in now, so of course you see that shit still.
Well, exactly.
People still buy the older stuff.
Yeah. But I wouldn't, like I say, I wouldn't. That is any age to me. Was it's it's not being defined by. He's not got a. What's the guy's name? What's the AE guy?
AE.
Fez. What's his name? Pegs. Fez. Fonz. He's not got like a Fonz ring or something.
Oh.
So set time. But what do you guys think, time wise?
Kit 10K, $5. As I said, I doubt my last theory. And Fry Minis, $2. On Foley's stream, he was mad about poutine. Why? I was not mad about poutine at all. We're just trying to sneak in poutine and spell it absolutely wrong for some reason. So.
Hi, Donnie.
Aren't you clever? Dave Rand McKay, who's been around for 2 months at the rank of commander. Welcome, Commander.
Fresh
again.
Fresh
2
recruit.
months of service. Yeah.
It's a bit different.
They need a different timeline so they don't die.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
Because remember, Picard did die. They all got killed on the Stargazer. So whatever happens, that will then be undone, which therefore removes what could happen this season. So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Total random reviews, $5. Not saying it's the same character, but it looks like a young version of the kid in Carbon Creek. When T'Pol got into college, same hair. This could be just one of the case files, an older case file he's telling them about one of the alien instances he's aware of. I think it's a red herring. It could be him as a kid. It really could be, but I really don't want it to be.
Or this could be his contact, who got mind melded and was sort of shown the universe, and then talks to him about events, new things. Maybe we see his lady partner, maybe it's a code name. But the other shot, though, which is the interesting one, what are these pointy-eared people doing? Because it's clearly tech-based. A lot of tech, actually. I appreciate it's all red. Clearly stumbles upon them. Kind of feels like Montana, I'll be honest. The foliage gives you Montana vibes. But this is the thing, because we got it in the trailer, and it was literally just as in the original trailer, it was just a close-up on the Vulcan giving a mind meld. That was it. So we knew, okay, could be anything. This is what we have, and assuming this is Enterprise Carbon Creek people, and they need to actually replicate the look and feel of those Vulcans, because that is the canon, and they are. Yeah. This show is more inclined to follow that.
Is there a good shot of the kid's flashlight or anything that might help it to establish era?
No, but maybe.
Okay.
I didn't.
That's cool.
Don't think.
It's okay. Just asking, man.
Yeah. Well, I can look at the original trailer again. What do you think? What do you think about this? What do you take from this?
Not much.
Oh, right.
I mean, it could be replicating the Carbon Creek Vulcans.
I mean, if they are, they're failing miserably, Stuart.
Carbon Creek.
I'll be honest, they're doing a very poor job. Probably worse than Discovery, in fact, because they're Vulcans.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, at least the technology is all the right color. It's kind of a coppery red color for Vulcans. Don't know what else to say, really.
It's got a big flashlight. There's a kind of a long shot, but it's not high enough detail to see.
Yeah. Fry minis, $2. Hashtag sneaky poutine is my new favorite food. There you go. Right. Poutine is good. Poutine.
But I see a lot in this, but obviously I'm a storyteller. I see the fact that they've put down actual groundwork elements that aren't quick. They put down lights, cargo, and there's clearly a hexagonal thing in the water. So this is a full-on dig or scan. This is an actual thing they're doing. This isn't just we're going to rescue a guy. Something's on Earth that they want, need, or even summoning. This is a big deal. This is, because we assumed, what is the thing that's going to trigger the timeline change? Why would it be Renee? What if it's already been changed for something else? Now, are they wearing Vulcanish clothes or not? Because they could be just attire from local stores. I wouldn't be too far off. The lady's more Vulcan, but the guy just looks like he's wearing just an over the coat jacket.
Yeah, the guy could pass for like over the counter clothes for sure.
So I'm thinking Carbon Creek, and I'm thinking like they were wearing that sort of clothing.
Yeah.
Just what's the word? The guys that chop trees in America.
Lumberjack.
Yeah, kind of that sort of, but without the red, but vague clothing.
Yeah, she's definitely got a Vulcan vibe to her, so
maybe it's one that goes out and one that stays in.
Possibly.
But they're doing something big, and you would think that this is a reasonable amount of money they're spending to a night shoot, building a series of Vulcan props. I wouldn't just think it'd be a singular flashback. Just say, that's why he likes aliens. And so we hired lots of people, we hired all this stuff to just shoot a 2-second flashback. It feels like this is going to be important to the grander plot in some way. Or these Vulcans gave him mind meld knowledge that leads into the future somehow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They've really made it kind of hard to determine what era this kid is in and stuff, so...
And also, it's 2024 Star Trek universe. So what does a flashlight look like in post-eugenics war LA?
It's Schrodinger's Ducane. It is both Ducane and not Ducane until it's revealed.
It's like at this point. His face is Ducane, and his name is Wells. Does that tell you stuff? And we are close to seeing. Obviously, it is tomorrow for America, so we all know very quickly. I'll certainly not go on social media until I've watched the episode because I don't want to know. But obviously, I am massively hoping there will be Ducane. They will get a flashback where they digitally de-age. Just dye his hair and like that sort of de-aged. Have him relatively uniform. You build the transporter pad of the relativity. You see a space shot, like you see him doing an assignment, like, and then it goes wrong. And he gets phased into this reality, the Confederation one, and see a bit of relative. Like I would really adore that. Really would adore that.
Absolutely. Not a banned account, $2. Maybe Vulcans get discovered and trigger a Xeno panic. Sure. Yeah. It could definitely drive a kid to get into the field of FBI, X-Files stuff. So,
especially if say that's this kid's home, like forest, like that's his back garden, and the Vulcans are after something, and you mind meld him to gain what he knows, but via the imprinting of that, he now, he doesn't remember the Vulcans exist, but he has his brain sense that there's alien life. Like his brain knows there's alien life, and so he spends his entire life searching. Because he knows there's something about him, I think like you and me, we know alien life exists without any proof, but of course there has to be. It's just an obvious innate no. But he's an actual biological innate no.
Yeah. The Darth Eddie, I agree. Darth Eddie says, I hope Ducane flashes his relativity comm badge if it's him, because we already saw it, a hologram with historical display on Prodigy. Yes.
Kieran, yes sir. This could be young soon. Sung. I mean, Sung's back. Thoughts? Wait, could Sung be alive in Carbon Creek era? Because Sung's going to be in his 70s, I would think.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah.
I mean, that could be. Maybe the Vulcan... Oh my god, wouldn't that be interesting retcon? Vulcans, these were eugenics Vulcans, and they gave Sung a sense of life can be better. That's interesting.
Could be.
I mean, that fits really well. I'm going to see what the actor looks like that was in Carbon Creek, because you would think if they're going to go full on, they'd bring him back. You would think, Yeah.
Guys, hit that like button. We did hit 100 likes, so thank you so much. Well, let's try to get up to 120 now. Any super chats you guys want to throw in would be greatly appreciated. Another 30 would be good.
Oh, 70.
Well,
I'm saying it. I'm
sorry, I apologize for him, guys. That's not cool. Anyhow, there's last super chat slots available. I don't know how much longer we're going to go here, but right now, Kid has a last slot. So if anybody wants to start a snipe war with just $1, $2, whatever, now's the time. And sometimes they really go all out with the snipe wars. So just a thought. But any other theories, comments, suggestions? I like the Sung idea.
That's what the discussion.
This could be the very impetus for what creates or makes Sung so, moving forward every iteration, so dedicated to their craft. Who knows?
And this man still looks the part. He looks very consistent with how he looked. I mean, you had the Vulcan makeup. Actually, he'd be.
Chuck Jones says, "How did they address Ducane's aging? He's been working as a temporal agent for the last 40 years, 30 years."
Or 4 days after Relativity episode, he got stuck in the past and has been there for 30 years.
Yeah.
Life. Living.
Yeah. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to de-age him or anything. It's not like it's...
Oh, unless you're a flashback.
It's not like it's a week after the last episode we saw him in Voyager. He probably did a good stint on the Relativity many, many years after that.
And he could always have been retired. And then something else pulled him out of retirement, etc. But yeah, being Sung's really interesting, because knowing aliens exist, and for example, if he sees the Vulcans, because Vulcans are much stronger than humans, imagine if, and I'm extrapolating, maybe they see a tree fall on one of the Vulcans, and the other Vulcan lifts it up, and this Sung sees this strength, and how strength and heightened human can save people, and so that goes in his brain, and once he gets mind wiped by the Vulcan, he still has a sense of, we should be better than we are. Genetic modification, he works with, that's why he works for Khan, which we would love to fucking see, and then leads into this.
Mm-hmm. Squadron Course, $1. Thank you so much. Beyond the Fan. Great name.
With a circle.
5 pounds. Metalis was the showrunner for 12 Monkeys show, who had the same actor as Ducane involved in the time travel. So Agent Wells could be a reference to 12 Monkeys. Could be, would be. It's...
That would be thoroughly disappointing.
Yes. Yes, it would.
He should know better. But then again, they literally brought the punk on the bus back and then told us a day after, oh no, he never met Spock. And it's like, but your scene doesn't work then. No, he just felt the echo from another reality. Right. So that doesn't work either, man. So, you know, yeah.
Silliness, yeah.
Yeah.
Christian Sterling puts in $2 and says the Titan shuttles are named for famous jazz players.
No, I knew that.
What?
No, I read that. Like last week.
Oh, yeah? Shit.
Oh, did I tell you?
No, it's the first time I'm hearing it.
I mean, it's not that interesting, in fairness. I don't care about jazz, so I'm not...
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I mean, could you name one jazz musician? I couldn't.
Robert Coltrane.
I have heard of him, actually. Hey, good job.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe his name's not Robert Coltrane, anyway.
Then I haven't heard of him if that's wrong.
I can't think of any offhand. I do know a few, but...
No. Thomas... William T. Riker.
Yes, that guy.
He did play jazz in the show, I'm just saying! Yes. But I like the song idea. Especially as it
becomes Murphy. Listen, Jericho, you win the prize.
Oh, who's that? I know that name as well.
Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Louis Armstrong. Yeah, there he goes, another one. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. Just no more talk about jazz.
Okay, so if it is sung, then you also could have the because it's not just that. Because you got to think, why did they put these connections together? What if he's actually after Sung to put him in prison, and because he saw Picard meet up with Sung at the party, he then backtracked Picard's cohorts. Because he got hit by Sung's car, which would be on record. So there's a direct link of those two characters, which then goes back to whatever. And so he's bringing Picard. What do you know about Sung? Why did he run you over? Why did you talk to you on the dance floor? And then he happens to find the beaming thing, which links even more. But it's all about Sung at the end of the day. So he's trying to work. So if he is Sung's a kid, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I could definitely see some kind of investigation going on in that regard as well that ties it all together. Because they do have proof that these guys were, well, aliens, and at the gala for the space launch thing. So I mean, yeah, tied in with the car accident as well. I mean, there's a lot going on.
And so they end up going to Sung's house because they want to, and then links to Q or some such. Indeed.
Vincent Visions. See, I got you right away this time, man. $2. As a jazz fan, that fact made me happy. And
every time you've heard it since with us, it's made you happy again.
And again and again and again.
Okay, so I asked, I want to do this, the last poll then to summarise. So I asked, do you want Agent Wells to be Commander Ducane from 20th Century? One of our highest ranking polls, Stuart, actually. 92% yes. 8% no, which, boy, if you were watching, Terry, you should quickly go reshoot those scenes. You got like 6 hours until it comes out, because clearly your audience wants it that way. But the second poll is directly linked to this, but is the other end of the question. So watch this space. See you in a second while I write the poll.
137 people here, 113 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get up to 120. Don't listen to Samuel, but another $25 would be awesome, if possible, for super chats. Yeah, we don't have any new members, so if anybody wants to click that join button and maybe join the channel, that's another way to help us out. We'd appreciate that. And if you have any other things you need to talk about in regards to this kid, to Ducane, not Ducane, Wells, whatever you want to call him, we want to hear it, because we want to kind of discuss and see what we can have figured out. I do like the fact that there was a Prodigy, or a reference to the temporal badge in Prodigy. That's very hopeful for me as well, linking to this. So thanks for the reminder, whoever had said that earlier. I really appreciate that. I would have loved it when at the end of this one, if he said, yeah, all the same, and instead of an FBI badge, it was a temporal badge.
Or
I was expecting.
Yeah, no, we've talked about this. Or he flips it and says, Captain Picard, I'm a big fan. What?
Yeah.
You know, because that's the thing. He, one of the most famous people in Star Trek history, and you're here to be like, oh, that's the temporal signature I found. Wow. It's Captain Picard? Dang.
Yes. Total random reviews. Sorry, $2. Did I miss you reading my super chat? No, because I missed the super chat apparently. $5. Just saying. They should have messed with the way time travel worked. Oh, they should not have. They should have never messed with the way time travel worked before New Trek. You think? Yeah. I agree. I wish there would just be references. Even if let's say, sure, Time Zero never happened. I still would have liked Guinan when she first heard about Picard to have like a little Picard echo in her head. Just a little thing indicating that somewhere something with him happened and she's aware of the name. Something like that would have been more than acceptable, but
yeah, forced to remember it by experiencing the same scene. So vote in the poll, Stuart. And what have you said? What say the poll. It's very specific how I've phrased it.
Okay. Do you actually think Agent Wells to be Commander Ducane from the 29th century? Yes, he will be. I have faith.
Of the heart.
Of the heart. No. He be a new character.
So let's be be realistic here, guys. Vote what you actually think.
Yes. Like your demand, your hope was 90 what percent? 90, what was it? 92?
92, yeah.
92% of you wanted it to be Ducane. So I mean, honestly, I've been saying this all along. If it's not Ducane, we riot. I don't know what we're gonna do, but
And then briefly, George Mangum said, by the 32nd century, as in Discovery Season 4, JL was just some admiral named Picard. Yes and no. It was some admiral because the people who were in I think it was actually Kolber who mentioned Picard, and Kolber didn't know he didn't research the legacy of that era. So it's a name on a screen, whereas if you had been taught in school about the legendary 20 captains and Picard was the first with the Q, the first with the Picard, if you actually lived with this history, you would know he'd be, we still know about George Washington 100 years later. So he will always be one of the most famous captains for the things he achieved. It's just Kolber didn't know. He's not going to research. And where do you start? Every captain is famous in their own right if you come from let's look at the last 1,000 years. Whereas if you actually look at it from a history point of view, taught in the schools at the time, he would be of the most famous ilk. So no, I disagree entirely.
And Kyrian, last week I thought it would be Ducane. After the trailer, I'm doubtful, sadly. Exactly, you fell into their trap. It's kind of obvious. It's the same actor. They're like, we got him back. Awesome. How are we going to hide the fact that he's not playing the same character? Let's lead them astray. And I hope that's what's happened.
We'll show flashbacks from Brent's side of the equation.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
Exactly.
Easy.
How do you act as an FBI agent? Did he rent the office and hire their staff? Or to be in on the act? No, he's actually an FBI agent.
Yep.
You think temporal investigations would have the abilities to make fake IDs, things like that, to get into those situations, or even fake the stuff, but I think the FBI agents are all real. It's just a way of, that's how.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they'll say he was on a deep, long-term assignment in this century for the eugenics war. He was meant to be there.
Or he's there early as a precursor to the Bell riots.
Oh yeah, he's meant to be there for Cisco. We talked about, he's meant to be there for Cisco. Time will get shifted. He gets shifted with it for some reason, and then oh no. But he had to be, he had to have real documents, and then at a certain point he's like, well, I'm in the system as FBI agent. Everyone knows of me as FBI agent. I'll just I mean, relatively gay. I have a tricorder that gives me money. Like, I can just go bleep bleep. Now I've got $1 million in the bank. It's all just ones and zeros. He'll still have that tech. But also another great counter as well. The Darth Eddie says, and this is in relation to Picard in the 32nd century. They know who Picard is by the 32nd century. If they know about Jonathan Archer and name their biggest space dock after him, they know about Picard's significance. Yes, Picard was probably more significant in the second chapter. So there's 3 chapters of Federation history: the Archer time, the Kirk time, the Picard time. That we know, they're all in their own era the most important person of that style of Starfleeting. I was going to say Archer's Picard's more important than Archer, but Archer also discovered more than anybody ever. So no, that's pretty darn important. He also was the president of the Federation. Pretty pretty famous to be that.
Yeah, Kyrian Spores says if it is Ducane, there has to be a scene with Seven. He does have CCTV footage of her at the gala. Yep. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. He explains everything. Picard or Guinan says, "How do we know we can trust you?" And then Seven comes in and says, "You can trust him. Trust me if you don't trust him."
Yeah, and then you can say, "I worked with him 30 years ago," and he'll say, "Oh, I worked with you 40 years ago." And it's like, what? Yeah, time travel. Yes. Because that's the easy way of doing it. We said that last time. You create the easy trust card because you have a pre-existing relationship with 2 of the leads. Why the hell would you have Jerry? And even if they share a scene, there needs to be a nod. Even if he's not Ducane, there needs to be a nod to the fact that he played a good episode with him those years ago. Mm-hmm. Because you don't get very many, really, 2 actors coming back decades later as different characters in Star Trek. That doesn't happen really in the same Vance Armstrong, maybe, but maybe like in a season one of Voyager, he was a Romulan, and in season 7 he was a Klingon. Okay, but you couldn't tell it was him in the Klingon because that's how makeup works. You can tell he's aged very well. If they dyed his hair, he would, like if he dyed his hair and lost 5 pounds, he'd be the same guy. You know what I mean? He looks very good for the 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
General Grievous, member for 8 months at the rank of captain.
Feels longer.
Thank you so much for your service.
Feels longer. Thank you for being here.
I have no faith it's Ducane. The writers are too clever. Sarcasm. He'll be some random who got kidnapped and probed like the dad in Independence Day. Where's Mulder and Scully when you need them? I know, right? That's perfect situation for them to show up.
And I definitely do think that it'll be disappointing. He will be the kid. It'll be as simple as he was, like I said, Scully. He believes in UFOs. So he met one. The mind probe didn't go so well. He remembers stuff. Like it'll be that simple, and that'll be it. And there'll be no depth to it beyond that. And then they just film the Vulcans because it'll be fun. And that'll
be a sad day for Star Trek fans everywhere.
Well, yeah, disappointing. Yeah, I think it will be that simple. I don't think it's going to be this grand, cool thing. Now, if his name is, Ducane on my middle name, whatever his first name was. If there's a reference to his own ancestor, okay, another ancestor. It's like, do you really need everybody looking at everybody?
No, I don't like the ancestor thing.
You can use it twice. And they've already used like 7 times with Brent, so they use their 2 times card in TNG pretty much.
Yeah. Well, sir.
But I'm still excited for the last episode because the last episode will really be the first episode of season 3's prequel. It'll be Terry's writing it. Season 3 will be the season.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see another TNG cast back in end of season 2 to kind of cap off. Because if they film them back to back, then if the cliffhanger is at the end of season 2, they filmed the next part of the cliffhanger the next day in season 3, and so you can easily have Frakes appear at the end, and he just literally steps to film the next day to shoot season 3. So I think we will see probably someone else at the end of season 2, because they've split the beans now. They can use them at any point in any way. I think we'll absolutely get a TNG. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, at the end.
Well, what's going to happen is before the Stargazer explodes, the Titan's going to come roaring in and save the day somehow.
And jazz will be playing.
Yes,
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, anything else you guys want to talk about? Let us know in a super chat. There is still a last super chat slot available right now. Kit 10K has it.
Mm-hmm.
And another $20, another $18 would be awesome. It's a way to close out. So, if possible, 2 10s, a couple 5s. Just saying.
And Kieran also points out that maybe that is why they announced TNG Crew now, because they would be in season 2. Yes and no. I think they can tell people are disappointed by the season in general. And so if, say, LeVar, like a Luke at Force Awakens, if any of them were in the season 2 finale for a scene, we'd all assume they weren't really in season 3. It'd be a trick, given how the season's played. Like, Q's barely in it, you know what I mean? So by telling us, oh, no, they're all in it, if you see them even in like a screenshot or like a Captain Admiral Picard, we have to go after Captain LaForge. What do you mean? And they just show a picture of him in uniform, like oh, like we could just got him a Photoshop. This is really LeVar Burton. So by knowing they're all in it, we would know at the end of the season, oh no, this is just a tease for more. So I can see that being the way they kind of preempt us. It's like, it's not just a quick cameo, guys. We're not just sorry disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Dan Ben says, do you think Sarah Silverman will be in the show? No. But the character could be, and it would work nicely. But you don't want to cram too many things all in at the same time.
I'd like her to be.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it, for sure.
I think that would be genuinely things that could add. I think it should be really fun. But I would want her from the actual Prime timeline, who's actually met Tuvok.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the fun is. Now, you could always argue that potentially this would be a hell of a stupid retcon, that any time ship related time travel survived the temporal erasure, that because it's using different time travel methods, and so that event still happened, the remnants of it in this timeline, but things like slingshots or Guardian time travel, that all gets erased because that isn't immune. That would be and that's why Ducane's here as well. Like, that would be a hell of a stretch, because it also means the second century stuff happens, etc., etc. Yeah. Yeah.
General Grievous, $2. Guys, Titan Shuttles are named for jazz artists.
Yeah, we know.
Matt Boardman, $5.
Stuart, did you know that runabouts are named after rivers on Earth?
What? Yes.
Or Great Lakes.
Matt Boardman, $5. I want Sarah Silverman to roll up with her van and say, come with me if you want to live.
Or come with me if you want to stare at the stars through my telescope.
Yes.
Because she had a Botany Bear on her desk, remember? They cared about canon back then.
Yeah. Yep.
Guys, we are $9 away from a lovely round number. We much appreciate 9. Only 9. That's all we're going to say. Really help, because month's definitely a bad month for us, but, you know, we've still got a bit of a month to go. And we've still got 2 episodes of the season, so if things pick up... Yeah, things pick up for the penultimate. Hopefully you guys will jump in and really help us out. So we've still got some... You know, still got some Voom. We do want to do a Drunkyards as well soon. Both are fun and fun. And in fact, there is the retrospective of Picard. Definitely worth retrospecting once you have the season 2 ending. So that, yes. I mean, Discovery we'll talk about, but this I think is worth retrospecting for sure. So that would be Drunkyards.
We can either drown ourselves in the sorrow that this isn't Ducane, or we can cheer them and celebrate and take shots for the fact that it was Ducane.
Look, either way, we did have justice for Sahil, okay? Either way,
we did accomplish that. Yes.
We did get that. We made them reshoot it. We didn't. Yes. Joking. But we did get that. We did get one of our Justice for hashtags. But no, seriously, so we'll do Drunkyards, and it was really fun, because you make us drink, you make us have fun, and therefore, by the time we get to this episode, we'll be drunk. So you'll get the similar conversations, but with booze. That'd be a whole thing. So that'd be fun.
We got some super chats, so that's great.
Oh, fantastic.
Total random reviews, $2, 135 watching, 138 likes. Woot. Yes.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. Let's try to get to 150.
150.
15 more likes, guys.
Come on. It's free.
Kit 10K.
Click it. A like button.
It is, yeah. Kit 10K, $5. Shots fired. Let the super chat snipe war begin, baby.
I mean, it would help.
George Mangrum, $5. Odds that Picard is Laris's great-great-great-grandfather, 0.
That'd be really weird.
That's just silly beyond silly.
Yeah, that'd be hard and justifying.
Squadra Course, $1. And then Kit 10K, $5.
Thank you.
Snipe.
Now,
Damn.
what very likely is going to happen is that not only are we going to get episode 1 being undone, but I can imagine that we deliberately had Picard say no to Laris in the first episode, so that when Q puts him back in his body, it'll be before the episode began, and he can say yes to Laris. Yeah. And actually, he's now evolved his personality. He does kiss her. He goes and gives a different speech at the Academy, which are then reader sets, which is a cheap pandemic, which they might do. He then knows the Borg coming. He's able to say, the Admiral calls him. He's like, I know, the Borg, like he did in First Contact. And he's able to approach it with a different mindset. So I can see that being the twist. Just the last episode is the first episode, but like Groundhog Day, like everything's going right. Everything's fixed. I can imagine that, because that would make sense to if they want to have the Laris. Like, that's done unless they undo it and redo it. So.
Bryce says, is pot still legal in the UK and Canada? Like for racist stone jards, it is not illegal in Canada. No, it is. You won't see that because I don't like getting high on THC.
It is illegal here because drugs are illegal in general. So time loss. Which also means he could go see Guinan, because we know he sees Guinan with Raffi in uniform. So he gets to say hi to Guinan. Guinan's then able to say, "Hey, you fixed the timeline." Oh yes, Guinan, you do know, don't you? Maybe even Picard, maybe even Q's there, and able to say thanks for solving everything.
Yeah, that would be a very happy ending for sure.
But that would be interesting though if literally Terry pitched season 2 is about getting Picard to be able to love again. I suppose that is to give him season 3 where he can now move forward in many storylines. But then he gave up season 2 to the other inferior writers, who then had to fill in the gaps, and they had to get to here. So they had lots of spinning wheel time. They didn't really have the commitment to the bit to kind of develop stuff. But then they had to get to the season 3 point to develop the thing.
Yeah, George Mangrum, $1. Kit 10K, $5. Sniped again, baby. Hopefully Scott Bakula will quantum leap into the cop's body. That'd be funny. Now you listen to me, Picard. Oh, boy. Anyway, I'm kind of out of theories to discuss. Hopefully one of these will ring true and not be the obvious it's the kid thing. That would just be stupid.
I want to see James Callis again.
You won't.
You will.
Well, you might in another flashback. The flashbacks haven't been completed yet. But
I want it.
I've been seeing him like every night for the last few nights.
He's been young and vigorous and also yelling.
Yeah, a little bit crazy. Seems a little bit weird talking to himself and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Vincent Visions, $2. They'll win in finale by canceling soon on Twitter. Total random reviews, $2. Kit 10K can we trade bank accounts? Indeed.
No, thank you. But no, good. Hopefully everyone will enjoy watching it if you stay up for it tonight. Enjoy it. I will see you tomorrow bright and early to review it. Hopefully have stuff to talk about. Like I said, this is when it all has to start to come to a head. We're going to see the Borg assimilate some stuff. Hopefully we see cool tech and cool stuff and not just 2024 streets, and hopefully we will not see the chateau again, and the hospital again, and the police station again, and the ice holding again. You know what I mean? Hopefully it's not just the same 6 sets recycled again, and the bar again. Like, I want to see... Give us the crescendo that this story desperately needs to kind of up the pace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Kit 10K, $5. Here's a way Picard would like to go. He's found in bed with Beverly and Laris. Hey.
Laris, I think, would be into that.
Jai Starkiller puts in $20. Agent Wells, as in Wells class time ship, as in H.G. Wells. Come on, he has to go through time agent. That's what I've been saying forever, man.
Yeah, it's not subtle. It's very effective. Yes, thank you. £20 is amazing. Thank you so much. That takes over the edge. Thank you so much.
Speaking of Starkiller, why did no one tell me that Starkiller was in Battlestar Galactica?
Before Starkiller as well. Before he was.
Yeah, I know, but he looks exactly like Starkiller. Same hair.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, it was like a year, 2 years before. So it was around the same time. What's his name? His name Racetrack?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
He just got killed, so.
Oh, I don't know if you... I knew that. I don't want to say that. He's not in very much, but yeah, no, it's got a really good cast. PSG, really good cast. Really good cast.
It's just weird because I literally started playing Force Unleashed on PlayStation Now like 2 weeks ago before I started watching BSG.
Wow.
So I know this weird set of.
He's following you, Stuart. The Sith follow.
Yeah,
because he's like
weird, man.
He's exactly the same. Which I like actually, the fact they just literally just had the guy's likeness, his look, his voice, his it's pure performance, you know.
Total random reviews, $2. Night. Open. We should maybe end it there so that he can.
Should. That's true. Thanks everyone. Great discussion, great thoughts, and the final poll result: 105 votes. Yes, by 52%, he'll be Ducane. So it went from 92 to 52. We will see tomorrow/Friday.
See you guys later, and congratulations, Total Random Reviews. Good job, man.
Until then, he's got a Foley.
I am. He's Commander Cockings.
I am. And we'll see if that's Ducane tomorrow.